Hello, guys. How are we doing? This show is not a show where you guys come on. This is a show where me and Paul talk. If you want to come on, obviously, it's when I do my live shows at the weekends and stuff. But, well, mate, yeah. How's it been since last week, mate? How you feeling about the club again?
Better. Better. Yeah. It's I sort of said to you before the Sheffield United game, you know, it's a massive game because I think if we'd have lost that, then you might have started seeing edge drop, see a slide. We've got a tough run of games coming up. But because we won and we took that step and it put us in the top four on merit, level one, like, you know, same games played as the teams around us, above Liverpool. Oh, yeah, it felt good. And it's great to have that sort of positivity back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is this starting to play in your ears now? I asked this to my guest the other day. When can we start believing?
I said this, mate, last time we did a show that it's going to be a case of, nah, it's not going to happen till it happens. I don't think we're going to get Champions League.
It's nice to dream, though.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get Champions League, but obviously that's the goal. That's got to be the goal, and that's got to be the dream now. And the players have got to believe we can do it.
Run out of games, don't we? Run out of games.
I know there's
in a good way.
There's not many games left, and when you look at, you know, your teams that are currently in Europe that are in and around there, they're going to be playing twice a week. We're going back to playing sort of once every 7 days again. Anything's possible, mate. Anything's possible. But I'm not going to start thinking about it just yet.
Let's go through the game a little bit. Actually, let me just flash this up before we go through the game. Andy Miles says, that's a nice shirt, Paul. Where did you get it from?
Me and every other West Ham fan in the world got one of these for like 17 quid.
Yeah, I think that is the case, mate. M&M Direct. So the game, really good, wasn't it? The first half was a bit, I thought we didn't have a focal point. You know, I thought we were missing that striker or missing someone to find that pass. There was a couple of points where Bowen had made the run, or a couple of points where Lingard had made the run. And I think you actually texted me, didn't you? As much as slow as Mark is, if he was on, he would have pinged that pass, wouldn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Exactly that. Like the run through when Lingard made that run, it was a brilliant run, and he was in so much space. I can't remember who it was who had the ball at the time. It might have been Souček, but they just didn't see the run. And you could see after the move, like it sort of went sideways and backwards, and Lingard was standing there like screaming. And that, like I say, that's one thing. I'm not saying that Mark Noble should have been starting that game. Of course he shouldn't, but we do miss that. Like he would have seen that pass. But there was a couple of times, like you say, I know I have to say I didn't mind the starting lineup. I thought the lineup was fine. I was quite interested to see how those front three would play. Personally, I thought Lingard would have been playing in the middle, Bowen on the right, Lanzini on the left. But it seemed like Bowen was the main man sort of in the middle. And he did well, but he's not a striker, you know, he's not a striker. There were a couple of times where we had good breaks. And I'm trying to think of one. It was the Lingard one, when Lingard had that shot. And Bowen just didn't make the right run. He just sort of he just stayed behind the defender. He didn't try and peel off. He didn't try and get him behind. He literally just ran in line with the defender, so the pass wasn't on. And that happened a couple of times when the cutback weren't there. I still think he did fine, you know, for the role he was asked to play. But it's that highlights the fact that we need a striker. We need someone who's going to make those intelligent runs, you know.
What about the penalty? Mate? So the first one, it was sort of like dangle. Here's a penalty for you. We're going to take it away, though. What did you make of that?
I mean,
hello, Jake, mate. How's it going?
It is what it. There's two things. I mean, it was offside. So, you know, you can understand it not being given. Although our mate Bowden, I don't know if he's watching, did make a point that he shouldn't have been given offside because it didn't go to him from the shot initially. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, but it thankfully it didn't matter in the end.
The second one, a Stonewall penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely taken out.
Completely wiped him out. I couldn't believe it. See when I saw that challenge come in and he just literally just cleaned him out. like it was such a bad challenge. Part of my brain went, "It's not going to give a penalty." Like it was just such a bad tackle. Part of my brain just thought, like, I don't understand what just happened there. It was a mad tackle, crazy tackle. I don't know what he was doing. Yeah, cleaned him out completely. Cleaned him out.
Then there was a bit of a Lampard and Di Canio.
I was going to say, mate, yeah, shades of Frank and Paolo. Didn't quite come to the same animosity. You can understand why Lingard wanted to take it. I will say again, actually, Lingard, brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. The last game before the cup game.
Fulham. Yeah, Fulham, he looked a bit tired, didn't he?
Fulham game, he was sort of anonymous, didn't really do anything. He was back on it. And he was brilliant. I understand why he wanted to take it, but no, it's good that he let, like, it didn't turn into a big thing. Do you know what I mean? Declan's the captain. He said, "No, I'm the taker. This is mine," and he gave it. And
good penalty, wasn't it?
It was a very good penalty. Yeah, it was a good penalty.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can doubt Declan's technique, but obviously that first penalty in the Premier League is, it's nerve-wracking, isn't it? To put that, you've got to still put it away. Oh,
definitely, and especially, I saw a few people say it as well. The fact that Lingard wanted it and Rice had to say to him, "No, I'm taking it." That just puts even more pressure on him. So he did well. It was a really good penalty, really good.
Yeah. Second half started. We looked better in the second half. I thought, we were starting to open up a bit more, and obviously Sheffield United had to try and go for it a bit. And the second goal came, mate, from a man, I think we can all be happy for him. I think he needed that. And Diop, great ball in again from the corner, so dangerous from set pieces. And good header in the end.
Yeah, he got up. And it's funny because I would say that's one of his weaknesses when he's defending.
Yeah.
He's reading and the flight of the ball and stuff. He's terrible normally, and he normally misses headers. Hopefully, that's something he's been working on in training, because it was a great header.
Performance. So, what did you make of his performance in general?
I thought he was fine, mate. I think people were looking with Diop now for an excuse to have a dig at him. I thought he was fine, mate. I don't think he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't make any big errors. He brought the ball out of defence really well. He was getting quite high up the pitch, and I think when you're playing three at the back, that's fine. Cresswell does it on the left hand side. You had Dawson sitting in the middle, and then you had Diop to bring it out on the right hand side. And I thought he did fine. I thought he did well. He didn't worry me. And like you say, getting the goal, massive boost to his confidence, and hopefully he grows from that. Because it must be hard for him being out of the team at the minute. Yeah,
definitely, mate. Just after that, Sofel got a bit of a nosebleed. He won the ball back so well. And I thought, go on, son. And then, he should have just laid it off to, what's his name? Bowen was running with him, weren't he?
Again, though, that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. Bowen did the same thing. He did it a couple of times. He didn't make the run. He literally just ran to the defender. He didn't give an option, but even still, I couldn't believe it. Like, I understand that he's a right back and he was looking for the pass.
He didn't know what to do, did he? He just
didn't know. I think that's the thing. He was just looking for the pass, and because Bowen didn't make a run, he was like, and he just swung at it. But I was gutted for him because it would have been amazing to see him score, and he really should have scored from there. But yeah, great chance.
Yeah,
he did really well to win the ball actually to make.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was anything else major. Fabianski pulled off a good save, deflected header. That was a good save. And then apart from that, like Fredericks had one, didn't he? And obviously Fredericks did score, didn't he? And it was good goal, wasn't it?
It was a good goal, yeah. Benrahma did well. Benrahma's been worrying me recently, the last couple of weeks. But he came on, and it was weird because the defenders they just stopped playing. They're just giving up. They stopped playing. But it was a good bit of skill. Made the space to pulled a few defenders to him, and it was a good finish actually from Fredericks. Like, he took it well, bottom corner.
Yeah, good professional win. Like I say, your man of the match, mate. I assume you've already said it really with Lingard, but
yeah. I think
Ben Johnson, though. I thought Ben Johnson was excellent.
He was very good. Yeah, he's. I still don't think he's particularly comfortable as playing as a sort of left wing back, but he did really well. You have to take that into consideration. He's playing out of position. How young he is. Yeah, he had a brilliant game, but Man of the match, realistically, I think you would have to give it to Lingard because again, everything good came through him.
Yeah. I think that's enough on that match. Right, so the next one, mate, is our cup final. And the last time, obviously, I really wanted to put a GIF up at this time of the Lanzini goal. Last time out was probably one of the most crazy I've ever gone over a football goal for years. Let's just talk about that for a minute, mate. How was that game for you and that goal? Just before we talk about the game.
Oh, I mean, we spoke about it on the show at the time, and exactly like you say, mate, it's been a long time since I got that. I went that mad. I went that crazy. Like when that goal went in, I went mental. Obviously, sitting in the living room, running around the kitchen, screaming. It's just the way that it was. Come back from 3-0 down. That just what
how many
a
times
moment.
have you watched it since then?
It's like obviously as well. Lanzini's my favourite player, West Ham player. It was unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. I hope we don't need
a magic moment
that
again. Looking at them recently, mate, they're in a bit of a Mourinho-itis at the minute. They're currently sitting. I'm not going to put it up. I'll just read it off for you. So they're currently sitting in 9th. And their last form, they've only won once in their last 5. They're really poor at the minute. But it's us.
Kane's back.
And but Harry was back the weekend as well. Harry did play the weekend.
He loves to go against us. It's I mean, this is the way that it's the same every year. West Ham, Tottenham, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Form goes out the window. It's a big game for both clubs, whatever the fans say.
The only thing I will say on it, mate, is they're playing tomorrow night in the Europa League. So, and it's an early kickoff Sunday. It's 12 o'clock kickoff. That's not a lot of rest. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday they play us, where we would have had nearly a week off.
But the last time we were in that exact same situation, we got turned over. If I'm remembering right, I can't remember who it was. Someone was playing. It might have been Liverpool, actually.
Maybe, yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, if you look at the form, and this is the thing, it's really difficult. It's hard to accept how good and how solid we are at the minute. It really is.
No,
as a West Ham fan.
It's weird.
It's weird because if you look at if I weren't a West Ham fan and I was looking at, if I wanted to put a bet on at the weekend and you're looking at the recent form, you're thinking, this is a banker. West Ham will win this. Look at their form. Like we're flying, and like you say, they're struggling. But I don't know. It's difficult to accept that. It's hard. It's hard to predict, and these games are hard to predict anyway.
Who do you like in their team, mate? I know it's hard because they're Tottenham, but
Son is one of the best players in the league. He's a cheater. He's he's a horrible player, but he's a phenomenal player. He's an incredible talent. He's a fantastic player. Obviously, Kane. Those two are, two of the best forwards in the league, two of the best forwards in Europe at the minute. So, it's hard not to appreciate them.
Good for them as well. Højbjerg in midfield's been very good for them as well. Always gets very good praise. But Eric Dyer always seems to be the one who gets the stick. He's not been that great. What about Bale? What do you make of Bale since he's been back?
He hasn't had a chance. He hasn't been being played. I don't know whether that's because he's just not showing up and doing anything in training. It's weird. He's been coming on for silly cameos. He's been coming on against non-league teams in the cup. It's weird. He hasn't really been given a chance. And you could see, I think it was the weekend. He came on at the end of the game and he sort of took on like 2-3 players and had a shot. He's obviously still got the ability. I don't know, mate. Like I'm a Tottenham fan, obviously. I don't really know, but maybe his edge's just not in it. Maybe I don't really know, but it's a weird one because obviously everybody knows he's a fantastic player. We did say though, when he came to Tottenham, it was going to take him a while. We haven't really played football for a year, so it's going to take him a while to get back up to speed.
when he came on against us, he did look quite dangerous, didn't he, in that game?
Well, he should have scored, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
He should have scored right at the end. So he's obviously still got ability, but I don't know. Sank's just obviously not working there, whether
What do
it
you make
is
of
Mourinho or...
Yeah, what do you make of Mourinho then in their season in general? Like I say, they're currently sitting ninth, I think I said, didn't I? Good, isn't it, really? I'm quite enjoying it.
It's typical Mourinho, isn't it? I can't stand Jose Mourinho. I can't stand him. I say this all the time. People do disagree with me, I'm sure. I think he's a fraud of a manager. I really do. He gets found out everywhere he goes. He gets sacked everywhere he goes. I can't stand him.
The only defence I'll ever him, mate, I think the Inter Milan job, I think he did fantastic. I think at Inter Milan winning Serie A and the Europa and the Champions League, I think you've got to give him credit there.
That was a long time ago.
No, it was. But I think that's one job where it's like, yeah, actually, because Italy's quite a difficult league. Inter, AC, Juventus, Lazio. There's a lot of teams that can, win that Serie A, aren't there? Yeah. Yeah. So what about us, mate? Mickey obviously was rested for the Southampton.
Well, he failed a fitness test, didn't he?
Yeah, sorry, failed a fitness test for the Sheffield United game. Does he go in for you, yes or no?
Yeah. I mean, if he's fit, he goes in. He's not the answer because he's still not a striker, but he's better than Bowen up front. So, 100%. I would bring Antonio straight back in, move Bowen out to the right-hand side, keep Lingard on the left. Yeah, absolutely. It's I say that I feel really bad for Fornals at the minute.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
But I mean, it's difficult to fit him in. Although Bowen hasn't been fantastic, maybe you could move Lingard onto the right and put Fornals on the left. I don't know. Yeah, but for me, Antonio definitely comes back in.
Yeah, I said that as well when I was talking to a couple of the boys in the chat there earlier in the week. I said to them, purely on his record against Tottenham, he's just got such a good record against them, and he loves them moments. He loves, that London derby. That just he knows what it's about. He knows what that game means to West Ham. So I would definitely plan. I would definitely give him at least 60 minutes. Yeah. Did we talk about the Man United game at all? Did we talk about that in the last podcast? I think we did, didn't we? I'm just checking that we've covered everything. I just wanted to ask about Odibeku for you, mate. Do you see a way back for him?
I don't think we did talk about it, actually.
Just quickly, just a quick thing on...
Yeah, no, I mean...
When we went out and...
Yeah, of course, there's a way back for it's a shame he didn't, he came on and he was like a deer caught in the headlights, he didn't take his chance, but it's tough, for a kid to come on who's played no senior football to come on at Old Trafford in a cup game, and it's tough for him, you can't. I think it was very harsh to bring him off. I understand it weren't working, but there were other players that could have came off. I don't think it was the right decision by Moyes to bring him off. I don't think it would have done him any good at all. But he was back on the bench at the weekend, and I think he needs to be eased in. You can't just chuck him in and expect the world to happen for him. He needs to be eased into it. But I think there's a way back for him. It depends how he gets used, and obviously it depends if we buy any strikers in the summer. But I think he'll get chances. Yeah,
James put there, don't risk Antonio. If he pulls up, it's goodbye for the season. What do you make on that, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I would qualify the fact, me saying that I would start him would be, I would start him if he's fit to start. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't risk him if they weren't sure. No, 100%, mate. I agree. I wouldn't risk him. But if he's fit to start, then yeah, he has to play.
One last thing on the last couple of games and going forward. Obviously, Ogbonna's is now injured. How good has Craig Dawson shown himself, mate? How good a signing has he been? I'm sorry, he could have been exposed with Ogbonna going down. We all look at Ogbonna, general leader, blah blah blah. I tell you what, Dawson, he's doing wonders, mate. Absolute wonders.
He's been fantastic, mate. He really has. And I think we said it a couple of times. I'm sure it took most, if not all, West Ham fans by surprise. When we signed, it was like, oh God, Dawson, but he's been brilliant. He's been fantastic, and all credit to him. Come in, and he's looked so solid. And I think he's looked good with, like you say, obviously him and Ogbonna has been fantastic. He seems to be fine in the back three as well. Brilliant signing, mate. Brilliant signing. Really, really good.
Has he kept? Do you know what I mean? Clean sheets and goals. Gonzo said it. I'd love to know the stats of someone who's like since their debut have had that many clean sheets and goals as a defender. Like, is it one of the best starts of a defender ever?
Could well be, mate. It really could well be. He's doing better than Ben Rama anyway. He scored more goals.
It's mad. It is mad. Right, so next thing I want to talk about, mate, I am going to have to share my screen, just so I don't forget the fixtures. So we've got some tough games coming up now, mate. So Tottenham game we've spoke about. After that, you can see that we've got Manchester City, which is a bit of a free hit, hopefully. Yeah. Then we've got Leeds, then we've got United, then we've got Arsenal, and it does continue. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Leicester. Okay, we'll go up to there. Some tough games, and really that is going to make or break up. Andy, mate, you need to stop, mate. Honestly, you need to stop.
Appreciate it, Andy. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm officially off to the 1st of March. Also,
happy days, mate. Enjoy it. I think Luke's been off for the last 6 months, hasn't he?
No, I've been in work.
Mate, my missus has probably worked about 2 weeks in the last year. It's ridiculous.
Really?
Ridiculous, mate. I'm very jealous.
Yeah, so what was we saying? Next 5 or 6 games, mate. That will really decide where we're going to finish, won't it?
Yeah. And I was thinking about this. The weekend, actually, just thinking about it and thinking about David Moyes, and obviously anyone who watches this show regularly knows my thoughts on Moyes, and just to clarify, West Ham are doing unbelievable this year, and that's down to David Moyes. I give him complete credit for that. He's done absolute wonders. He 1,000,000% deserves a new contract. 1,000,000%. He's done fantastic. I've never said anything different. The only worries for me was the way that he approaches certain games, and the type of football that we can play under him. The last few weeks, he's really been turning that around for me. He's been winning me over. I think we've been doing things the right way. But then you have games like Liverpool, like Man United, where it kind of slides back a little bit. And for me, this run of games now, how we approach these games and whether we decide, like, we're not getting relegated.
No.
Are we now going to say, right, let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's go. Let's push for these European positions. That's really what I want to see. And I'm not saying we need to go crazy, because if you look at, some of those games, if we're playing the teams around us and we're picking up draws, that's good because it keeps us above those teams. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not saying we need to go mad. I'll be draws, everything, happy days, but I don't want to see us go into these games against the so-called big clubs and play like we played against Liverpool.
We shouldn't have to now, mate. Like you say, we haven't got the 2 games a week for a while now. It'll probably start going back to that sort of, we get a nice rest between games, so Lingard can rest up and Antonio can rest up. So, we've got to show, and it's more, Moyes has got to show a bit of bottle now. Yeah. Between now and the end of the season. And like, do you believe? Come on, mate. That Europa League, the Europa League is definitely there. I'm not saying the Champions League's definitely there, but Europa League is definitely there for the taking.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And so this run of games is massive for me, massive when it comes to me and my opinion on David Moyes and whether he's right for West Ham long term. Like I say, no arguments at all against the results. We're in an incredible position. We're in a far better place than we were last year, and that's all down to David Moyes. I give him absolute complete credit for that. But now, like you say, I think that's exactly it. Now I want to see it. I want to see a bit of bottle. I want to see him say, right, we've got a real chance here.
We have nothing to lose.
Exactly. That's it. We've got nothing to lose.
We have nothing to lose. We're not getting relegated. I think more or less guaranteed a top 10 finish, more or less, unless we completely collapse. Just show a bit of bottle. Just show a bit of bottle. James says their next 5 games, if we get 7 to 9 points, that would be fantastic. Do we make any changes for Spurs? We sort of just discussed that, mate. We'd definitely bring. For me and Paul both agreed that we'd bring Antonio in. I know some people would rather us rest him, but I think this is a game that you need Antonio, and I think someone like Eric Dyer would be terrified of him. So yeah, I would definitely start him. James sums it up quite nicely. Yeah, we have 14 cup finals now for glory.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, big time.
And someone did something that I think if we carry on the same sort of pattern that we did the first half, we'd end up on about 62 points, which I think it's 15 of the 25 Premier League seasons would have got you Champions League football. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know when I would believe it. Honestly, I don't think until that final whistle went.
Yeah, until it's actually mathematically done, I won't be believing it. But let's go for it. Let's go for it.
I've got another question for you then. So what would you be disappointed with now? So in terms of position, maybe
position doesn't genuinely, mate. Genuinely, from this point on to the rest of the season, position doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care where we finish now. We're not going down, so it doesn't matter to me whether we finish 14th or we finish 10th or whatever. I just want to see us give it a go. You know, we're in such a good position now. We've got such a good opportunity. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Oh, well, we go again next year. You know, it doesn't make any difference to a fan whether we finish 8th or whether we finish 14th. It might be a couple extra £1 million to the club to go in Sullivan's pocket, but to a fan, it doesn't make any difference. So I don't really care now. There's not going to be a disappointment for me for where we finish. The disappointment will be if we don't really give it a go in these last run of games. That'd be the disappointment for me.
That's a fair point, mate. Yeah. Dan Bowden says, look at our Leicester set up when they had a go at City. It's true. You got to have a go. You've got to have a go at these teams. Like you say, mate, a lot of them have got European football, Champions League, Europa League. Some of them are still in the FA Cup. We've only got the league to go for. And we've just got to go for it. We really have. Andy says, if we beat the teams in the bottom half, so on average, we win half of our 14 games that's left. Another 21 points, that's 63 points without no draws if we pick up some. I also, do you know what would be a fantastic season for me if we go and break that our Premier League record of 16 wins in a season, which we only need 5 wins to equal it. That just shows you how good we've been this season. Right, next thing, mate. You sort of touched it already. David Moyes, we've got 42 points, mate. Why has that man not got a new contract Monday?
I said this a couple of weeks ago, mate. We are all assuming that Sullivan wants to give him one.
Yeah, no, I made a video today, mate. You know, just Twitter conspiracy theories on David Moyes. And, you know, why? I don't understand why now at 42 points we're safe. He's reached his target. Why has he not gone, here you go, Moyes, Bosh, there's your contract and all your backroom team as well?
I think there's a couple of different ways you could look at it. The first one, probably the most likely, if we're being honest, and they say this every year, they say it every time. I completely disagree with it, but it's the way they do things. They always say, we will look at it in the summer. They've done that to every manager. They've said the same thing. That's probably the actual answer. But if you wanted to get a bit tasty with it, you know, it could be. I don't think Moyes wouldn't sign one. I don't think he'd refuse to sign. I think 100% he sees a project
as well. It's the way he's talking. Moyes is talking about, you know, I'm holding the money back for strikers and stuff
exactly.
like that.
I think he sees this as a project. He sees it as a long-term thing. So I don't think it's anything on his end. I think it's, if you wanted to go sort of conspiracy about it, maybe Sullivan doesn't want to give him a contract. Maybe we're doing a bit too well for Sullivan. You know, maybe because most of the fans are behind David Moyes, it puts more pressure on Sullivan. Sullivan likes managers to be divisive. You know, when the fans are angry with the manager, when we've got the likes of Allardyce and Pellegrini even towards the end, when the fans are getting on their back, it takes the heat off of Sullivan. He's not getting that with David Moyes, especially with all the pushback on transfers and stuff, whether you agree with it or not. Sullivan's not getting that protection from his manager. So that could be a thing. The other thing could be, if you wanted to be more sort of positive about it, maybe they're thinking of selling the club in the summer.
That's exactly what I said this morning, mate. Is it that there's a buyer sitting there and saying, don't offer a new contract because we want to bring in our own man? But then someone made a valid point, mate, of the best thing a new ownership would do is to give David Moyes a new contract. Yes or no?
Maybe. I don't know. It depends who they had lined up, doesn't it?
No, but I think this. I'm buying into this Moyes project, though, mate. I've got to say, I'm buying into it.
No, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Like I say, I'm not. I want to wait and see what happens with this last run of games before I'm completely sold on it.
Yeah,
that's one thing. You know, I don't think Pearce would be offered the manager's job, but the team. That's one thing I'll say is, whatever I think about Moyes, his backroom team that he's built is fantastic. You know, Nolan, Pearce, Irvine, Nevin, like fantastic backroom team. I really, really like the team that he's built. And it'd be 100%. I said this earlier, you know, he deserves a contract. The whole team deserves a contract, but Moyes ain't going to one of the big clubs. Who's he going to go to? What big club is going to offer David Moyes a contract? Genuinely.
I don't know that.
I'm asking Gary. You know, like I don't see it, mate. As good as a job as he's done with us, your big clubs, you know, your Man United, your Chelsea's, your Liverpool's, even your Tottenhams, they're not going to employ a David Moyes. You know, your big teams abroad, they're not going to employ a David Moyes. So I don't think if he did leave us to go somewhere else, it'd be a sideways step. He ain't going up. Yeah,
the only club maybe, if you consider them bigger than us, I don't know, is Newcastle, potentially somewhere like that. You know, like another project, because I know Steve Bruce is not really liked up there. But
I mean, I could see. Don't get me wrong. I could see that being a move that could potentially happen. I could see Newcastle going for him, but I wouldn't. I would consider that a sideways move. That's not. To me, that's not a step up for David Moyes. Do you know?
Yeah. Right, next thing I want to ask you, mate, we'll move away from current stuff. Just some questions that keep coming up at the minute. So Mark Noble, mate, you know, the way he was talking recently about like, this probably my last game at Old Trafford, etc., etc. Do you think the announcement is coming this season, or do you think he will hold it up?
No, I think he'll retire at the end of the season, mate.
Spurs.
Yeah, I think he'll retire at the end of the season. I think he's known himself. You know, that's the plan, and I think it's the right time. You know, it's the right time. I really hope that he stays at the club in some capacity. Apparently, he has been doing his badges, so I really hope. And you know, we were just talking about the real good backroom team. You know, like your Nolan, your Pearce. Imagine adding Mark Noble to that. Fantastic, fantastic. I really hope he stays around. But
what about not having his moment with the fans, though?
Is
it romantic in you saying one more year just for that?
Yeah, of course it is. And I think I even said this to you the other day. It's if he retired without that last game with the fans, it'd be gutting, it'd be heartbreaking. It really would. But you can't give him another contract just for that. Do you know what I mean? Unless he was going to take a sort of pay-as-you-play player coach sort of contract or something, just to give him that moment, maybe. But you can't give him you can't do that.
Yeah, I agree, mate. What about managing the ladies? That leads on really nicely, mate, to wait a minute, what's this? Just before I move on, I think he is still. Sorry, I think he is too. He was probably waiting to see if the fans might come back. We may have the fans back. We may have the fans back for the last game. Not 60,000, though. That's the only thing. That leads in really well, mate, to another video I've done this week, mate. Antonio, if he breaks Paolo Di Canio's record,
I've been looking forward to this.
Goals, will he be a West Ham legend?
I'm going to upset a lot of people. No, of course not. No. And I'll tell you why, mate. And the best way that, because I was thinking about it and I was trying to work out where I would classify him and what level. Obviously, legend, no, of course not. There are very few West Ham legends, like actual legends. Very, very, very few. Mikel Antonio does not go in that bracket. Then even if you look at your West Ham icons, your likes of your Julian Dixes, if someone asked you in 5 years' time, or even if someone asked you now, if someone said to you, name me a couple of West Ham legends or name me a couple of West Ham icons, Mikel Antonio is not a name that's going to come into your head.
You not think, though, because on the video I did, I said, if you ask this in 20 years' time to kids that will be our age by then, that they'll be saying Mikel Antonio.
I don't think so. I don't think so, mate.
Like,
I think the closest I think the closest to that Antonio will get in your 20 years' time, 15 years' time, is going to be like your Colton Cole.
Do you not think, though, again, I'm just making arguments here for you to answer. Do you not think, though, if you are considered top of a list, so you are top of West Ham's Premier League goal scorers, does that not give you a pass into it?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I'm putting it out.
I'm not trying to take anything away from the achievement. I'm not. If he gets that record, he's got that record, and whenever it's spoken about, he will be spoken about. But like I say, if you think of your West Ham icons of your past, if you think of your great players of the past, like I say, if you're, your legends, you're talking your Bobby Moore, Billy Bonds, the Trevor Brookings, your greats. If you're talking about your icons like your Di Canios, even the likes of Carlos Tevez, your Julian Dix, Antonio's not in that bracket. He doesn't go in with those players.
Since I've done the video, I've had a rethink. I might have to actually do another video on it. I consider him now, instead of, because I said legend in the end, I was like, maybe you have to. I would say West Ham hero.
And again, right, so if you want to say hero, do you know, it makes me, so I tell you what, right? So the DVDs that came out, Hammer's House of Heroes, do you think they're going to make a Mikel Antonio DVD?
That's a good question, mate. It's a good question.
No, they're not. Like I say, and just the same, they're not going to make a Colton Cole DVD either. And I absolutely love Colton Cole. Like Colton Cole is like one of those cult heroes. There you go. Antonio's going to be in that bracket. That's where Antonio will be. He's not an icon. He's definitely not a West Ham legend. So
what do you need to do to be a legend then? Because you're saying there that Paolo's not even a legend then for you.
He could be. He could be. I'm just talking. If you wanted to try and make tiers, if you wanted to try and split it, Paolo to me and you is an absolute legend. Paolo's, to you, Paolo's God. But would you really put Paolo on the same level as Moore, Brooking, Bonds? Would you really put him there? There's an argument.
Do you need to win something? Do you need to win something at a club to be a legend?
Possibly. But then I would say genuinely the closest to a West Ham legend now is Mark Noble. One club being at the club his whole career.
What has he done?
It's different. Like I agree. I 100%, mate. I agree with what you're saying. I agree. What has he done? I don't know. It's a sort of length of service. It's the fact that he's West Ham. He's a West Ham fan. He's from the local area. Probably the fact that we'll probably never see anything like that again. Let's hope maybe Declan Rice, but even then, Declan Rice ain't really he weren't West Ham as a kid, I don't know. I think Mark's probably the closest to that status. But then, like,
funny comment. Sorry, could do a DVD and love
I mean, that's probably what most of the DVD will be. You know what I mean?
And he's not a legend. He's an example to everyone, not just West Ham fans. Anything.
Yeah, and I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm genuinely, honestly, I'm not trying to slag him off. I'm not trying to take anything away from his achievements. I'm genuinely not. I'm just saying. I think that's a good sort of way to look at it. Do you know what I mean? Well, yeah, there you go. Won the Betway Cup. But like I say, if you're thinking in the future, if DVDs are coming out of players, they're not making a Mikel Antonio DVD. That's. For me, he's not. Cult hero, yeah, 100% cult hero. Put him in that bracket, yeah, definitely. But he's definitely not a legend, not for me.
Yeah, I know it's a really good conversation, because when I put the tweet out again this morning, one of the guys I work with, he said, "Oh, like he's not a legend for me. It's only Bobby, Brooking, etc., etc." And then when he said that Julian Dixie's not a legend for him, I don't know, it twerked something in me like you can't say Julian's not a legend.
See, that's why I was saying about if you wanted to put it into tiers, like I'd say you got legends and then you got icons. You know, to me they're different. And I would say
this. Like them people do
the tier list.
Like,
yeah, we should do one of them.
Yeah,
we will. We'll do that. We'll do one of them one week, mate. That'd be quite funny. Like if Bowden's still watching, we'd have to where would John Pansel go and Thomas Repcar and players like that.
If you're watching this back, guys, if you're not watching this live, put in the comments some players, even if they're really obscure, and then me and Paul will compile a list and have a good
Hanu
laugh.
Tahinen, but yeah, if you wanted to break it down into tiers, I would say the likes of your Dicks, your DiCanios, they're West Ham icons. Cotties, Joe Cole,
Sinclair.
For me, yeah, exactly. They're your icons. Probably not quite on that legend status. Mate, if there was a what do they call it? If there was a petition for that, mate, I would sign it.
Yeah, I think most people would, mate. But yeah, really good conversation. Me and Paul will hopefully do a video about that soon, where we'll try and tier, icon, legend, and maybe you guys can think of the categories, because obviously we need a few more categories in there as well. Yeah, the other thing I want to talk about, mate, is TalkSport. Digging us all out again. The first one was Moose saying about the fans not being there is helping West Ham, and they're inlandly negative, and if they was in there, they'd be negative week after week after week. And then today we had the Simon Jordan and Jim White. They were basically talking about how much money Chelsea had spent, and that West Ham fans should be grateful that we didn't spend a lot of money. And we were raging, apparently, when Soufal signed. The West Ham fan base were raging when he signed, and that we should be grateful that we didn't spend much money. And spending money doesn't guarantee success. What did you make on that?
Well, spending money doesn't guarantee success. That's true. For them turning around and saying West Ham fans will rage in when we signed Soufal is nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't listen to TalkSport. I don't really take note of anything that they say because they're just clickbait. Their whole thing is to try and create arguments because it gets people to phone in and it gets attention, and that's what they want. It's rubbish. They don't. I was going to say they don't understand. They don't understand the actual reality, but they do understand. They're not stupid. Jim White's not an idiot. Enough actual West Ham fans have rang in and had decent points made, on Twitter constantly. There's constantly, whenever these tweets come out, there's points made. They know that that's not true, but that doesn't get people listening. That don't get your lunatics ringing up, screaming and shouting and all the rest of it. So,
would you rate him when we signed Soufal?
I was disgusted.
I can't find it anywhere. I did a video on it. It went out at 4:00 today. I did a video on that thing. I don't see any rage. I didn't see anyone moaning that we signed him for $5 million at all. No. I don't know where they got that from.
It's nonsense, mate. It's absolutely rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. And we know that they're all in the Ball's pocket and
allegedly.
I don't know. Allegedly, yes. Don't sue us. I don't know, mate. I genuinely don't take any notice of what they say.
No. Dan Bowden says, a little bit delayed today. People would argue against Scott Parker. How many years? 3 years on the row.
Yeah.
And on a spin. FWA Player of the Year, the only West Ham player to have ever won that, to my knowledge. If he's not a legend, then Antonio definitely isn't. Now, I've done a video on Scott Parker. Comes out tomorrow. I was asked.
He was so close. Parker was so close.
What, to being a legend?
So close, and he ruined it by signing.
Legend or icon?
I tell you what, mate. There's no, you can't put him above your DiCanios and that, but you can't put him above them. But he ruined it because he went to Tottenham and he ruined it.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil my video that I'll make. Well, I will. I'll spoil the title of it. I was asked. Actually, I will because it'd be nice to get your opinion on it as well, mate. I was asked, "Do you see Scott Parker as a future West Ham manager?" And I've done a video on it, and it will come out later this week. Yeah, be interesting. What would you do? Do you like Scotty as a manager? I've got to
Do you know what, mate? Yeah, I do. I like Scott.
Football is amazing, lovely football.
Yeah, I do. I like him as a manager. I like the way he comes across in interviews and stuff. I ain't got nothing against Scott Parker, really. You know, I haven't really got anything against him. I like Parker. He did wonders for us. There's absolutely no doubt about it. He did taint it for me. I'm not going to lie. He did taint it for me by
fair enough, mate. For me,
going to Tottenham
because I love the man. I did. I absolutely love the man.
Yeah, he tainted it for me big time by going to Tottenham, and that hurt. You know, it could have gone to any other club when he went to them, and that really tainted it for me.
Would you accept him as manager though? Would you like to see him as manager?
Yeah, definitely not. Maybe not now. I don't know. I don't know if he's ready yet. But as a potential for the future, I definitely think he's got potential. Yeah, and I wouldn't be, you know, if at one point if it was decided, yeah, he was ready and he was at that level. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it at all. I like Scott.
Yeah, you'll find out my opinion in my video later this week, guys. Andy Miles says, if you could pick your West Ham five-a-side team, who would you pick? Oh, we did a greatest 11 we've done a greatest 11. We've never done a 5 though.
I mean, you
like players that we've just seen.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing realistically, right? If you're picking it realistically, an actual five-a-side team,
it's easy.
Joe Cole's in there, Di Canio's in there, Payet's in there.
These are players we've seen. Yeah. Not like if you could have Phil Parks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, Joe Cole, Paolo Di Canio, Dimitri Payet, stick someone in goal. Who would your goalkeeper be? Do you know I'd have a shout for someone like Shaka Rislop?
Rob Green, maybe.
Possibly Robbo.
Ludo.
I don't know. I feel like Shaq's would be.
Mate. He's won Player of the Year, Fabianski. Hammer of the Year.
I'm not thinking about the best. I'm just thinking about five-a-side. I don't know what it is. I just feel like Shaq's would be a good five-a-side keeper.
I know he's not good at getting down low. He didn't save that Gerrard shot. And my centre back would be Rio, probably.
Yeah.
Or Oggy. Yeah,
that's not a bad shout actually. Bonner's actually a really good shout. But I think those front three, I personally, I don't see how you could argue with those three. Di Canio, Payet, and Cole. Yeah. That'd be phenomenal.
Oh, ridiculous, mate. If you've got any questions, guys, please put them in. We're probably going to go for about another 10 if we can. We've gone, 41 minutes there? It's saying on the clock. So, about another 10. We hear Moyes wants a 40 million player again. Haven't we had enough of wasting big money on players? Depends who it is, mate. If it's Danny Ings for £40 million, bosh, straight on the table, get it done. Yes or no, mate?
That's exactly right, mate. It depends who the player is. You know, it's not, and this is exactly the point. It doesn't matter how much they cost. If they're the right player, they're the right player. You know, if you spend 40 million, if you spend 100 million on the wrong player, well, if you spend 100 million on the wrong player, it's not going to work. If you spend 100 million on the right player, it's going to change your team. You know, same for the other way around. If you spend 5 million on the right player, it can have a massive impact. You know, like we're saying,
it's the same with the Lingard thing, mate. I don't think you can put a price on, like you say, mate, a final piece of the puzzle. Lingard, if Man United are a bit stubborn and they say 20 million, 20 million is a good price for a player that is and has improved West Ham so far.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Apparently, we have got 60 million, apparently. That's with apparently the sales of Lanzini, Anderson, and Yarmolenko.
If that's true, that's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, because we've got to replace them.
It's a disgrace. If we have to sell those 3 players to get £60 million when we've already sold Haller,
I think it's an extra 30 on top of the 30.
You know, when we've already sold Haller, we've cleaned the wage bill out massively. We sold how many players, you know, in the summer just gone? That would be disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. If we have to sell those 3 players to get that kind of budget, that's disgusting.
And the thing is, mate, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Gio here from Hammer's Chat. He said, like, with 60 million, 15 million of that goes straight to Lingard, 4 million for Dawson. That's 19 million gone straight away, mate. And that's just for players we've already got, right? Then we need 2 strikers. Maybe need a centre midfielder. And then all of a sudden, that money's gone.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's not a lot of money.
Mm.
It's madness. It's madness.
And you imagine if we do, we all know how small our squad is at the minute. If we do manage to qualify for Europe, we need to spend even more.
7, 8? Because if we're sitting here as well, mate, saying, Lanzini goes, Yarmolenko goes, Anderson goes, Mark Noble retires, that's 4. Winston Reid, I know
Fabianski's out of contract.
Fabianski, yeah, as well, goalkeeper-wise. Yeah, I think we will be sitting here quite frustrated in the summer again, I'm not going to lie. And it's just so depressing. But let's not make it depressing because we're enjoying this season. I don't want to give them too much airtime. Dan Bowden says, I've still not removed myself from the ratings in protest of the signing of Sufal. Celebrity in the chat, JP's joined me quite a lot this week. Nice to see you, mate. No, I've done that one. Hi, JP. JP says, it's harsh to criticise Parker wanting to fulfil his dying dad's wish.
Might be harsh, mate, but it is what it is. That's the way it is. That's how I feel about it.
John Pansil, Rush goalkeeper. Jimmy Walker 5. So, yeah, Jimmy Walker. I'd love to get him on the show. Ludo Rio Rice. Berkovic. What a player he was. This system has worked. Is Moyes going to buy a proper striker that doesn't fit it? This system has worked. Is Moyes?
You would hope not.
Do you think we've got a realistic chance of getting Danny Ings, though, mate? I don't think we have.
No, but why? I know he would be great, but why are we even talking about Danny Ings? Has he been mentioned as a player?
Yeah, mate, massively.
It seems like
apparently Moyes is number 1 target now. Yeah, him or El Nesri, who's not going to come.
He's not coming to West Ham. Maybe. I mean, well, I don't know. Apparently, when the last you see is that the money was almost there, but he probably would turn down a move anyway.
Apparently if we did bid 30 million for Ings in January, this is what has come out leaked.
I think it all depends on where we finish. If we do manage to qualify for Europe, those type of players, then maybe
if we sign Danny Ings, I'll be buzzing.
Maybe then we've got a chance. Do you know what I mean? But if we don't, the likes of those, and especially like your En-Nesyri and all them, they're not coming to West Ham without European football.
Yeah. Just before I go back in the questions, mate, what about Mbappe? I heard he's a bit of a player.
Potential there. He's got potential. He could be one to keep an eye on for the future, mate.
How good was he last night? Oh my god,
he's brilliant. It's crazy because I said to you, I obviously we were watching the game last night, and when I text you when that Ricky Pugh come on, and I was like, because he's a really good player, and I texted you and said, he's only 21, and then I thought, Mbappe's only 22,
and he's won the World Cup.
It's crazy.
He's so crazy. Good. He's so good. That first goal, that finish was insane.
He's that young as well. Yeah, what can you say? What a player.
My only wish for him going forward, Mbappe, is that he doesn't have the injuries that R9 had, and that you get to see a player really go to the top of his game. And we're not saying, injuries has killed him. That's my only hope for Mbappe. I love him, absolutely love him as a player. Come on, we must be the only club to make money in a bloody pandemic. It's true. Hopefully, why Moyes didn't buy a player? Yes, obviously. If he's been told that Danny Ings or El Nesri is available in the summer, I can fully understand why he did it. If they don't fit Moyes' team, he won't buy them. Players have to be hard workers, and I've got nothing against that. What about you, mate?
No, I mean it's common sense, isn't it? If they don't fit the team, obviously don't buy them. It's stupid. Yeah, obviously.
Mbappe said on the North Bank as a child. JP says, I raised this over the last couple of weeks. We have more money than Moyes actually has available. Yeah, but you've done really well with that, mate, saying about there's actually a lot more money, but they don't free it up. We shouldn't sell Lanzini, definitely Yarmolenko, and definitely Anderson. I know Paul's a big fan of Lanzini. I've got to say, on Monday night, mate, he didn't look good to me, mate.
You say he didn't look good, but did he look bad?
But he didn't do enough then. Like, you're meant to be the main cam in the team, the ball carrier.
I mean, it's fair. It's fair. You know, that's fair. I can't really argue with that.
He's 28
I think,
now as well. He is 28.
Yeah, I mean, sentiment. I still wouldn't sell him. I still think he's got a lot to offer. The only thing is, I don't think Moyes rates him.
No, I don't think. I think the word with Moyes that seems to be tatted around a lot is trust. I don't think he trusts him. Yeah. A couple of five-a-sides here. Diamante would have been a baller in five-a-side.
He'd be banging it out the cage a lot, wouldn't he?
Yeah. As soon as he gets it, though, you wouldn't see him for the rest of the game. Parks, Rio, Rice, Cole, and Cotty. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you need that fox in a box, don't you, in five-a-side? And Mbappe, I've done that one already, but that was really, really funny. Ravel Morrison, another baller at 5. Yeah, I did a video on Rav. Thank you for all the views on that. That's a wonderful amount of views for us. Did you see that at all, mate? The Rav video? Basically saying about Sam Allardyce, what we already knew. He seemed quite cut up. Don't get me wrong, the comments were a bit conflicting. The comments that were on the video were saying, like, I don't buy it, I don't believe it. It's broken down at a lot of clubs. What did you make on that, mate?
There's two sides to it. The big thing at the time was he was like, obviously Allardyce was pushing him to change agents. He wanted him to sign up with, is it Curtis, who's Allardyce's mate? Wanted him to sign up with his favoured agent, and Rav didn't want to, and they basically told him, listen, if you don't sign up with this agent, you're not going to play, we're going to get rid of you, which is obviously wrong. On the flip side, I've seen people say, if you asked Sam Allardyce's version of the story, he would tell you, I don't think he was being advised well. I recommended the person who I think is best at it, and he didn't go along with it. I think there's probably a bit more to it than that. We all know Sam, and I think there's possibly, a bit more sort of monetary things involved there. But then at the same time, Rav has left every club he's been to since, sometimes even after a couple of weeks. There's definitely something wrong with the kid. He's obviously got issues, and I don't think it's fair to blame it all on Alan. And I said this at the time.
I said it in the video. Your comment. I said it. I said, like, Paul hates Allardyce, and the fact that he's half defended him says a lot. Yeah.
I mean, I can't stand Sam. I absolutely hate Sam Allardyce. I hated him while he was at West Ham, but I don't think it's fair to put it all on him when you look at where Rav's career went after he left West Ham, because it happened again and again and again and again. I actually looked, in 10 years, he's made a handful of appearances.
Yeah, it's such a shame because he was such a good player.
All the talent, and I think he's still 28.
Well, he's the Lingard era, isn't he? He's Lingard, Pogba, that era.
All the talent, but obviously something's not right. Something's not right there.
Yeah. Anything else, mate, before I wrap it up? Anything else you've read or anything else you want to just put out there?
No, I haven't seen much news, to be honest.
One Division ain't bad. One Division ain't bad. That's
a brilliant show, yeah. If
you need a show to watch, guys, One Division. If you like your Marvel, I'll tell you what, get past the first 2 episodes, and I'll tell you what, every episode it's like, I want the next one. It's a fantastic show. Fantastic show. Yeah.
I'm actually quite excited that the Champions League's back, to be honest. Even more now that the West Ham are in conversation potentially. Sevilla are playing tonight, and I think are they playing Dortmund? Yeah.
And is it Man City tonight as well? Or are they playing in the league? They might be playing the league.
No, they're playing in the league.
Yeah.
It's City Everton, isn't it? Big game for us.
Oh, Juventus are playing tonight. Yeah. Any more comments there?
Juve, Porto, are they playing?
I think so, yeah.
So we could have Felipe Anderson and En-Nesyri in action there.
Ooh. Maybe Lingard can get Ravel back on the ball. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you for all the comments. Please keep subscribing, guys. The race to 4K is on. I'll tell you what, hopefully we're going to hit that. By the summer, I reckon we can hit that, and that'd be fantastic. We're so proud of what's happened with the channel recently. We're doing really, really well. Got our love back for it. I'm going to leave you with one thing, guys. Let's hope me and Paul are doing more reviews and talking about this. Because I'll tell you what, if I had that music around the London Stadium next year, it would be better than when my daughter was born. Anyway, guys, cover your eyes, keep believing, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's go.
Cheers.